Hello, and welcome to our new series, Michigan Hidden Gems. I'm Karen Cafanteris, Associate State Director for AARP Michigan, and we thank you for joining us. The goal of this series is to share unique places and things to do that you may not know about across the great state of Michigan. Today, we're featuring Traverse City. Now, Traverse City is a place many people visit. It is a beautiful tourist destination. It's our hope that what we share today and in each episode will provide you with a unique visit to each location we cover. If you're a regular visitor, it can be a little more unique than your normal visit, and we're hoping it will entice those of you who haven't been there to visit. In addition to this series, we've also started a Michigan Hidden Gems Facebook page. You can join that page via the link in the comment section. We're going to hear today from three people about some of the hidden gems in Traverse City. First, we're going to hear from Juliana from Inland Seas, a unique, fun combined with educational opportunity. After that, we're going to hear from Nick from Grand Traverse Bike and Wine. Now that's a combination, bicycle and wine tours. And last but not least, we're going to hear from Mike from Traverse City Tourism. Now, couple of housekeeping items. At any time during the program you have a question, please place it in the comment section. We'll take those questions at the end of each segment, and then again, if we have time, at the end of the program, after we've heard from Juliana, Nick, and Mike. If at any time during the program you are experiencing technical difficulties, such as not being able to hear, your screen freezes, you can't see the videos that we're going to show you, please click on the refresh button in the upper left-hand corner of your browser, and it should refresh your screen and make everything work again. You can also put in the comment section that you're having technical problems. You'll be able to find other programs that AARP Michigan does, some like this and some other things, such on things like fraud and diabetes and all kinds of health and wellness and a number of different topics at the AARP Michigan events page. And you can find that page by going to aarp.org/mi and clicking on AARP Michigan events. So our presenters today are Juliana Lissick, the Associate Director at Inland Seas, Nick Wiersba, owner of Grand Traverse Bike and Wine Tours, and Mike Kent, the Public Relations Manager from Traverse City Tourism. So I'd like to invite Juliana to the screen. Hi, Juliana, welcome.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm very excited about talking with you today and having you share with our audience about Inland Seas. I know that when we were able to visit a few weeks ago, I really found that Inland Seas is like fun with purpose, right? It's fun. You get to take this 177-foot schooner, and you get to learn things, important things for our Great Lakes. And we should be in, we're surrounded by Great Lakes. So tell me, tell our audience, how was Inland Seas started? And, what's your mission and what is a sail like with Inland Seas?
Yeah, great question. So Inland Seas Education Association has been around since 1989. So Tom Kelly was the visionary and founder of Inland Seas. And he had this goal of connecting people, and especially young people, to the Great Lakes to teach them about what makes the Great Lakes so unique and so special, and to inspire a sense of stewardship in the next generation to care for the Great Lakes. So we've been connecting people to the Great Lakes, on the Great Lakes, in the Great Lakes, and near the Great Lakes for over 30 years now. And many of our programs take place aboard our traditionally rigged tall ship schooner, as you mentioned. So we have a 77-foot large sailboat that we take students and families out onto the Great Lakes, and they get to experience the water in a really unique way. So many of our science-based programs, they're sampling for fish and for zooplankton and looking at those different aspects of water quality. They get to steer the ship while they're out there and learn about navigation and the history of navigation on the Great Lakes. And really with this underlying philosophy of having these unique positive experiences, connecting people with the lakes, that will help create that foundation for them to care for it.
Yeah, starting when they're young. That's great. And you work a lot with the schools.
We do. Yeah. So we have around 150 classrooms come out every year in the spring and fall through field trips. And then during the summer months, we get to sail to Great Lakes beyond Sutton's Bay. So we were in Lake Superior and in the Detroit River and down in Cleveland this past summer. So we're able to take our educational platform to other communities to teach them about their Great Lakes as well.
That's fantastic. So talk to us. So if I wanted to take an inland seas, sail, and tell me what would it be like on the is it a ship or is it a sailboat?
It's a ship. You can call it a sailboat though too. It is technically a type of sailboat. But yeah, we have opportunities for the public to come out during the summer. We have a couple weeks when we're here in our home port of Sutton's Bay, and we also sail out of Traverse City for some of those public sails. And they range anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And so you can come out with your family or with your partner and learn about the Great Lakes. And so we have some of our public sails that are science-based. So you get to be a Great Lakes scientist and do all of those sampling pieces. And then this fall, we also have a couple public opportunities, a couple night sails. So we'll have an astronomer on board. And so you'll come out as the sun is setting and learn about the stars and space and what's happening in our night sky from the deck of our ship, which is a pretty special and unique experience. And then we also have some weekend sails this fall to just come out and enjoy the beauty of the fall season here in the Grand Traverse region. And so those are 2-hour sails that you'll come out. You'll get to ask the staff on board any questions you have about sailing or the lakes. If you want to steer the ship, you might get an opportunity to do that too. So it's just it's a fun way to come and see our region from that unique perspective of out on the water.
And sailing in the fall, if the colors are nice, wow, that would really be a treat.
Yeah, it's gorgeous to see the forested hillsides from the bay. It's really a beautiful time of year up here.
Well, let's take a look at what guests might experience with inland seas with a little short video.
So here you're kind of seeing all the different activities people get to help raise the sails because it's traditionally rigged. We need all the help we can get raising the sails. We don't have equipment to do it for us. And you saw some of those different hands-on sampling pieces in that video too.
Wow, so you get to actually maybe sail the boat if it's not too rough out there.
Definitely.
That might be a little scary.
We're there to help you, guide you through it.
You must have a very secure captain.
Definitely. Yeah. Our captains are pretty great. Lots of experience and really good at explaining all the different aspects of sailing.
So is the person who founded this, Tom Kelly, is he still around?
He is not. Unfortunately, he passed away a number of years ago. But many of the people and supporters who knew him and were on board with his vision from the beginning are still with us volunteering and supporting our mission. So it's really neat to see the initial vision that he created live on through today.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell us, so Inland Seas is offering a 10% discount for upcoming in-person tours between September 25th or 22nd and 25th. Tell us, what, how would they go ahead? How would they do that? I will ask people in the comments if out there on Facebook, if they can put in, are you interested in participating in a sail? And if you do, we have a discount link that we will send you.
Yeah. So
go ahead. No, go right ahead.
The sales this fall, we have 3 opportunities to come out for a night sale, and then also 3 of those fall color tour sales that we talked about. And so if you go to our website, schoolship.org, and click on buy tickets, there'll be a spot for you to put in the discount code. And that code will be good for those public sales this fall, but also throughout all of our 2023 season as well. So if you can't make it up this fall, we'd love to have you come visit next summer.
And you start what, in May or June with public sale?
We start sailing in late April, but our public sales are in the warmer months in the summer.
I
So
can't imagine. I cannot imagine being on the water in April.
it's pretty chilly. You know, sometimes we have some ice chunks still floating, but by the time we get to June and July and August, the water's warming up, and it's a pretty beautiful time to be out there.
Yes. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us, and we will see you again towards the end, at the end. But again, if you want to find out more about Inland Seas, it's schoolship.org.
Yes.
And if you would like to join us in, for a tour September 22nd to 25th and take advantage of that 10% discount, share in the comments, and we will get you that. We'll get you that discount code. So
perfect. Thank you, Karen.
All right, and so. Yeah. So next up, I would like to introduce, I want to make sure I get his name right, Nick Wiersba, owner of Grand Traverse Bike and Wine Tours. And you're on mute, Nick.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to talk about our tours, and we're definitely a hidden gem up here in Sutton's Bay, just outside of Traverse City. Any questions for me?
I have lots of questions for you. So first of all, whose idea was it to combine bike tours and wine tours?
That's a great question. The idea is basically I guess many of us have heard of traveling in Europe and riding bikes from one winery to the next. Like I think Backroads probably came up with the idea initially, but I would say it's my idea here because there's a fantastic bike trail. It's a paved bike trail, an old rail line, rails to trail style trail. And this is where our family's from. We saw this trail, and there's wineries just off the trail. I used to manage a bike tour company in the Napa Valley. And we wished we had a bike trail that was this good. So when I saw this opportunity to move back home and to combine the elements of bike riding and drinking wine and a nice, safe, easy, accessible wine tour area, we came home and started our business. So we've been doing it for over 10 years now, and lots of people go out every single day and enjoy the scenery. You're able to soak it in while riding a bike. The wineries are nice and evenly spread out, so you're not drinking too much. You're tasting and able to stop from one to next. That's a really great way to get out and see that Traverse City has so much to offer. Everyone tries to combine as much as they can at one time. We're lucky to have wineries, beautiful water, great places to ride bikes. So we're able to combine the bike riding and wine tasting.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And so when I was there, you have electric bikes, which I kind of like to consider kind of electric assisted bikes, right? They kind of assist you. You don't have to. They're not like a little scooter. You're still doing a little bit of the power, right?
Yep. Yeah. So what's great about we design our tours to be for everybody. So that's the biggest question we get is how far is it hilly? In general, our bike tour is about 15 to 16 miles. But what's great about we now have e-bikes that you can ride on the trail. They're pedal assist, so as you pedal them, they give you a boost. They basically make you feel like you have superhero legs. You're able to roll up and over any little hill you might want to see. So it's actually been a great thing because it allows people to ride together as groups and kind of brings the abilities all together. So it makes for a great thing to do. Bring some friends and go taste wine, learn a little bit more about wine itself, stop by the wineries, and so that's what's great about the e-bikes. It makes it a little bit easier. In general, the trail is flat, but there's a couple rolling hills to get to a couple of the wineries, and this allows them people to go farther and explore a little bit more.
All right. So if I were to want to sign up to do one of these, I just call you, and then is it individualized to my wants, like time, length of time, and that kind of thing?
It is, yeah. So you give us a call, or you can book online. Our main tour, it's called the Leland on a Wine Trail Tour, and so we sit down and we customize the day for you. We offer it as a self-guided and a guided tour, and on both tours we customize it to you. There's 7 different wineries off the trail, so even when you do a self-guided tour, we sit down, we plan out your day. We do lunch is included, so you can have lunch overlooking the vineyards. We drop that off for you. Have a little picnic basket at one of the wineries. We also have a support van that follows behind. Oh, sorry about my light. With a support van that follows behind the group. So if you have a flat tire, you're lost, you're having too much fun out there, our support van is always there to help out, as well as pick up any wine that you may purchase throughout the day.
So I can taste some wine, really like it, and I can buy a bottle, and the van will take the bottle back to the store for me.
Absolutely, yep. That's kind of one of the joys of it, because you're tasting. These are small wineries. It may be hard to find their wines, but they're like little treasures. So if you can bring a couple bottles back, and you can share that experience with your friends, you learn. You get to see this grape growing in person. Now it's in the bottle, and now I got it in my hands. You got to try this wine. So it's really exciting to be able to in one tour be able to kind of combine all those elements and bring home a little bit of it to continue that memory growing.
That's great. That's great. So we do have a quick. Do we have a video? I think we have a quick.
Yeah, you should have a little video.
Here we go. If you want to kind of narrate what's going on here, where they're at.
So this is the paved bike trail. South sections of that's our main. We roll down that and make detours just off the trail to get to the different wineries. So that's a quick little abbreviated version of the day in 30 seconds, but it usually takes most people check in around 10 to 10:30 and they get done around 4. So it's a good 4 or 5 hours. You visit 3 to 4 wineries. It's just a great way to soak in the scenery and really experience Traverse City.
And I've noticed going to some of those wineries up there, a lot of them, you think wine tour, it's all for adults, but I've noticed they have juice boxes at most of the wineries. Do you get many kids?
It is a family-friendly environment. Some of the wineries have areas where kids can play like lawn games while their parents are tasting wine. That bike trail is used by everybody, all different levels and ages. So it's great that they're feel free to bring your teenagers or even your 2-year-old along. We have extra bikes and definitely accommodate anybody's ability.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will see you again at the end. If there's any questions, I don't see any questions that have come in during this segment. So I'm going to let you go and invite our next guest up, and we'll see you at the end. So I'd like to invite Mike Kent, from the Public Relations Manager of Traverse City Tourism, to the screen.
Hey, how you doing, Karen?
I'm great. How are you, Mike?
Fantastic.
Talking with Juliana and then Nick gave me a kind of renewed happy memories of being up there just recently. So it's making me grin.
I got to tell you, Karen, I'm a little put off by the whole subject here, because you're talking about hidden gems. And if I'm doing my job properly, there should be no hidden gems. So, but quite frankly, you hit upon 2 of them that they don't. The public doesn't always realize they're out there, and they are just absolutely remarkable. This area right now in my office, I'm overlooking Grand Traverse Bay. It's gorgeous out. It's picture perfect weather. The bay is beautifully blue. The sky is blue with little puffs of clouds. And that's what people often think of the Traverse City area, an idyllic place, a resort community, a place to get away for summer. But there are so many things that go on here that A lot of people don't know they exist. So yes, thank you for shedding light on the hidden gems. And yes, I don't always get the word out about everything that's going on here. So
There's so much. I don't know how you could get it all out. So,
absolutely,
and,
absolutely.
and if you could, we wouldn't be able to do this kind of presentation.
That's right. That's right.
So,
It gives you subject material.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a couple of hidden gems you're going to share with us. The Gwen Frostic Studios.
Yeah, this is over in Benzie County. And Gwen Frostic was a very well-known, well-respected artist of nature. And there she is right there. And a lot of her work were prints. So even though she died in 2001, the Gwen Frostic Studios are still there. And you can still see them working on the prints that they have. Old printing presses that are still being used and have been used for, I think they told me 70 years that the printing presses have been used. And her work is still as remarkable today as it was when she was alive. So people will go out of their way to find the Gwen Frostic Studios and take advantage and see the beauty that you can see the building there, and it's a unique building with all kinds of flowers in the area, and it is endemic of what Gwen brought to the world, which is an appreciation of nature, an appreciation of wildlife. You might not be able to see it, but there's a crane above the entrance to the Gwen Frostic Studios. And cranes were an important part of the artwork that she brought to the area. I was just there, about a week or so ago, and the place was very, very popular. There are a lot of people there. You have to kind of track it down. There's an example of the interior and all the prints that are scattered throughout there. So anyone who has the least amount of interest in any kind of artwork having to do with nature, if you have not checked out the Gwen Frostic Studios, you're missing one of the hidden gems of the Traverse City region. And strongly encourage folks to get there.
I just love even the outside of the building is just wonderful. Yes, I have to go there next time that we are there, because that is really very interesting.
And when you go inside and you see these old presses, I believe they're Heidelberg presses. That I think you see old movies from World War II where they're using Heidelberg presses and that type of thing, and they're working. They're cranking out a lot of the prints that she did in her lifetime, and they are still as relevant, still as vibrant as they were when she was alive. Gwen had a tremendous following, and her studios are kind of tucked away. You have to kind of look for it and find out where it is and go to it. Which, by the way, let me get it out early. Anyone who's looking for any kind of information about the Traverse City area, probably the best resource is our website, traversecity.com. Really easy to remember. And you'll find information about Gwen Frostic and some of the other things that we'll be talking about, and certainly some of the things that we've already talked about, including Inland Seas and the Leelanau Bike Trail.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about the Crystal Lake Alpaca Farm.
Again, something that, this is a great opportunity to take kids to. I was there, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm looking at this place and I'm going, oh, I got to bring my 2.5-year-old grandson here. He is absolutely going to love it. So it is a working alpaca farm. And, the alpaca is a unique animal with the wool that they provide. It is like 30% warmer than sheep wool. It is stain resistant. It is odor resistant. It is water resistant, and they're just cute. Bottom line, they're just cute.
They are cute, and they look like they're friendly too.
Well, for the most part, yes, especially if you're feeding them. but they can be kind of nasty to each other. You just got to make sure that you're not pitting one against the other.
Well, I'm always friendly when you're feeding me too.
I'm sorry, what's that, Karen?
I'm always friendly when you're feeding me too.
They're terrific with kids, and you don't have to worry about that. But they're just adorable animals. And when you come to Traverse City and you're escaping to get up north and trying to get away from the everyday life, this is a great opportunity to do just that. Like I said, it's a working farm, and you see all these alpacas that are roaming about. They even have a maternity ward for them. And a very interesting story how they got started and why they went the alpaca route is because of all the attributes that their wool is different from other wool. And they wanted to explore that and make sure that the public had a chance to experience it. So when you get your kids out there and you see, oh, darn it, these animals are really cute and just fun to watch them.
Very good. So let's talk about, one of the things that I know that I love to do when I come to that area is, like the trail that Nick talked about. There, you guys have all kinds of trails, and you brought to our attention the Betsy Valley Trail, and then the newly finished Boardman Loop, and the chair-assisted trails at Crystal Mountain. So I'd like you to talk about those. And there are trails, I understand, all over the place. So let's just talk trails.
Well, and Nick touched upon the Leelanau Trail, which quite frankly, that's one of my favorite trails. I used to take that, and that goes between Traverse City and Sutton's Bay, which is about a 15-mile trail. And I remember one particular time, this is what trails bring to you, just outside of Traverse City. I mean, it wasn't a remote area. I had to stop my bike on that trail because there was a deer in the middle of it. And that deer was not going to move. He was there first. He looked up at me and just said, wait, I was here first. And then eventually he moved off. I swear he smiled at me. He probably didn't. But, Nick is right out along that trail, and they do a lot of things. But it really is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many remarkable trails in this area. And yes, the Betsy Valley Trail just got $1 million+ from the state and federal government for expanding their trail. Again, I was on that trail just a short time ago, and it goes through Frankfort and other communities in the area, and it's going to go. The expansion will help take it further south to that community. And one of the neat things out in that area is, yes, Crystal Mountain has a chairlift assisted bike trail system that they just started this year. So Crystal Mountain is known as a ski resort. So when it's not snowing, what do you do with those chairlifts? Well, they set up some bike racks on the back of the chairs, and you can take your bike up to the top of the ski hill, and they have 6 different types of trails that can bring you down. And much like skiing, they are from Black Diamond hills to a green hill. So depending upon your competency in trail biking, you decide what to go on. They suggest that everyone starts at the green so that you get a sense of it, but you can go up and down as much as you want. Again, I did that, about a month ago. Had an absolute blast. The one thing I say is I did do a face plant. The only thing that was damaged was my ego, and that was severely damaged because I had a bunch of people looking at me and laughing at me when I went down. But it wonderful way to experience the area. And especially as we start getting into the fall colors, imagine, if you would, going up to the top of a ski hill and looking about at this panoramic view of trees turning their bright crimson colors and exploding, literally right in front of you with color, and then taking the trail down. It just pre the color season, it was fantastic. And I know there are some ski hills that do that throughout the state of Michigan, but not very many of them. And the trails that they set up at Crystal Mountain, what a blast it is. So there's another potential for a trail. And the other one that we were talking about was the Boardman Loop Trail. This was a project that was just finished about a month ago. Boardman Lake is right in Traverse City. If you were to take that lake and put it into any other city, it would be the core of that city. In Traverse City, because we got Grand Traverse Bays, it's kind of a forgotten lake, and yet it is absolutely beautiful. So this Boardman Loop Trail, that just got completed, I have been on, and it is stunningly beautiful. And it's a quick ride. It's only, you can probably do it in about 15 minutes, maybe even less. But they've got this boardwalk that stretches out onto the lake. And it really is a prime example of the amount of attention that are given to the trails in this area. There's an organization called TART that quite frankly was responsible for the Boardman Loop Trail. Their next project is improving the trails that go literally right in front of my office. So right next to Grand Traverse Bay, that it's a project that they're going to be working on for the next 2-3 years to make all an interconnection between all the other trails in the area, whether it's the Leelanau Trail, the Betsy Trail, or going up to Acme and going on the northeast side of this area. Ultimately, they want to have a trail system that goes far beyond Traverse City and goes up to Mackinac City and beyond that.
Wow.
So that's what TART has been working on, and the improvements that they have been making have just been remarkable. I had high expectations for the Boardman Loop Trail because literally it's a block away from my house. And when I got on this, my jaw dropped. It was far better than my expectations. So that's one that's right in the city. And depending upon, your viewers and their capability, it's a flat trail. You don't have to have great ability. You can just hop on that. And then you have access really to anywhere in the city. You can take that trail and go to downtown Traverse City and go do the shopping down there, check out the restaurants. And there are so many restaurants in the area to explore. It is a trail system that more and more people are being drawn to it just because of the trail system. And it's for biking, and e-bikes have opened up for people who might have accessibility problems. E-bikes have opened up a lot of those trails to people that, of all abilities and all age groups. And there are multiple places to rent e-bikes. I know Nick has his up in Leelanau County, but there are plenty of places around the Traverse City area where you can also rent them. So lots of opportunity on the trails, and certainly a great time for anyone who wants to explore. And that Boardman Loop Trail, for example, you can feel like you are miles away from any kind of civilization, and yet you are still right in the town.
So, Mike, Barbara has a question that I was thinking of as you were discussing this, which is, are the trails only for biking or for walking also? Because it kind of sounded like they're just for biking.
No, they are for biking, for hiking, for walking, all the way around. And then a lot of those trails, like the Betsy Valley, I know, they are groomed for either snowshoeing or Nordic skiing too. So they get year-round use, and it is not just for biking; it is all the way around.
Very good. Well, I'd like to ask you. So you have a beautiful, the Traverse City Tourism offices there are beautiful. Yeah. If someone wants to plan a trip up there, do they just go up there and then stop in? Do they contact you? What's the best way for someone to get all these little nuggets of places to do and places to go, things to do?
The easiest way, if you are not here, is, as I mentioned, traversecity.com. Mm-hmm. The people who keep up with our website are absolutely remarkable with it. They do a fantastic job of updating it on a daily basis, whether it's events, activities, restaurants, hotel accommodations. It's all updated on a regular basis. So that's the easiest way. If somebody wants a visitor guide, for example, sent to them, you can go online and you can ask for a visitor guide, and that can be mailed to you. Visitor guide is also available online. So if you don't want the paper copy, that's fine too. If you are in the area and you're looking for clarification or you want some help, yes, we do have a visitor center, which is located right across from the open space between Union Street and Grandview Parkway. We have people that staff that really know what's going on in this region. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday who was looking at our trail system, and they were looking for a place to see the northern lights. Mm-hmm. So, finding out what their abilities were, and they really didn't, they're an older couple and they really didn't have the ability to do any hiking. So they wanted some place that they could just park their car and watch it. And that's what our people provide. They know the ins and outs, and it might be a particular need that you might have, whether it's accessibility or availability. The thing I will remind everyone that these are unusual times still. We still have COVID out there. We still have a shortage of staffing. And I think your audience knows this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Be kind to the people. There are a lot of people working very hard to provide the service, and they're usually understaffed. So, if you're coming to the area or when you are coming to the area, it might be good to make reservations. We're getting into a time of season where it's a little easier to get into a restaurant, but it might be good to make reservation if you can. And if not, just be patient. And the other thing I would emphasize too is when you do come to Traverse City, be respectful. Be respectful, not just of each other, but be respectful of the environment. Your audience, I know, they want to make sure that Traverse City is around for their kids and their grandkids. And I'm the same way. I want my grandson to be able to love this area as much as I love it 10, 20, 30 years from now, and still have people that respect the beaches and respect the trails. And when they're taking their dog out for a walk, they have their dog on a leash, because dogs off a leash can create damage to environmentally sensitive areas. We have this glorious area with Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore that was voted as the most beautiful place in America by ABC Good Morning America viewers. We want that for the next generations. Absolutely. So, stay on the trails. If you take garbage in with you, take it out with you.
All right. Well, I would like to invite Nick and Juliana back to the screen and ask our viewers, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or the comment section. And Nick, we did have a question from Jack, and Jack wanted to know what breweries. We'll get to that later. What wineries does the trail that you have people go by?
Yeah, there's 7 different wineries, and there's a brewery stop. So there's plenty of options. So to run through the list of wineries, Black Star Farms. They make some excellent wines there, beautiful grounds. It's a working farm. They've got horseback stables there as well, and a little inn and bed and breakfast. Make great wines. It's usually one of our first stops of the day. We visit Shady Lane Cellars. They've got a gorgeous patio overlooking their vineyards. All their grapes are grown right out back, so it's kind of a really unique setting, that classic winery with all the vines and vineyards there. Excellent wines there also. And what's really cool is there's some varieties that people don't normally see or can even pronounce. A lot of German and Austrian grapes are starting to show up on the tasting lists. And I encourage people to try those because they tend to grow real well in our cool climate. So I was thinking of Shady Lane, and their Gruner Veltliner was the first thing that came to my mind because that's what I usually drink when I go there. So that's my little wine tangent there. Make sure you try some fun, weird sounding wines. We also have El Mabi Vineyards for some sparkling wines. That's just off the trail. Big Little Winery, Ciccone Vineyards. We have Sutton's Bay Ciders with a fantastic view and great ciders. Willow Vineyards will soon to open again. That's right off the trail. We have 2K Vineyards also. And then to throw in a brewery stop, Hop Lot Brewery is just off the trail also. So we'll coordinate that all and organize for a perfect day, so don't feel overwhelmed and where should we go. We're the experts. We'll make sure to guide you to those fun places.
Karen, if I can add to that, if you don't mind, there are over 40 wineries that are part of the Traverse Wine Coast. So you have 2 growing areas that are called AVAs. Leelanau County is one of them, and the other is Old Mission Peninsula. And again, very accessible by the bike trails that Nick has glommed onto. And in fact, I had a group of it was actually a TV production crew out of Norway that was here about a month ago. Included 2 sommeliers and a food writer. We just blew them away, and they were at Black Star Farms and for one of their stops, and picking fresh cherries off the tree as they were doing their wine tasting. They absolutely loved it. This whole area, and Nick has touched on it, this whole area is getting a tremendous amount of respect, not just in the Midwest, but around the country, and some international acclaim too, for the caliber of their wines. So the bike trail, the wine trail that Nick is talking about, very popular and very well received.
Yeah, I've done a couple wine tours up there, never on a bike, so that's going to have to be my next adventure up there.
Yeah,
And
the beauty of that is buy as much as you want, and then Nick will make sure you get it back to
Absolutely.
your hotel or pick up at his place.
And for those potentially, some of the folks who are on today might have done our virtual wine tasting that we did with Black Star Farms last fall. So
Nice.
yes, it was a lot of fun. All right. So I don't see any other questions coming in from the audience, but I do want to talk about upcoming events in the area. And I think all of you know some of those. I know that Mike sent some things. There are some unusual things I think don't happen in a lot of other communities, such as the National Hockey League Prospect Tournament.
Yeah, Traverse City is really Hockey Town North because we have two events that go on, and that is the NHL Prospect Tournament. So they have a number of professional hockey teams that bring their prospects up here, and they compete against each other. That's going on September 15th through the 19th, and then immediately following that, the Detroit Red Wings have their training camp. I know when my kids were younger, I used to take my middle child, who just loved hockey, and it's a very intimate setting. It's at center ice that has two close arenas where you can watch these people who are both the current stars and the future stars of the area. That you can watch them perform, and it's very intimate. They're very free. We can meet them before and after, and they will sign autographs. So those two events, the Prospect Tournament and training camp, attract a lot of people, and great event. If you're used to watching the Red Wings down in the Detroit area, it's a totally different environment up here. And the other thing we want to mention is, let's see, in Frankfurt, they've got Beer Week coming up, and that is in October 3rd through 8th. Black Star Farms that we talked about earlier, they're starting carriage rides. We'll have carriage rides on the 14th. And the other thing to look for, too, is as we start getting into the cooler weather and we start getting snow, the sleigh rides start, and at a number of different locations. I know Fantail Farms out in Benzie County have that, and Ranch Rudolph has it. A great way to experience winter when those start kicking in.
So Jeanette has a question, and she's looking for events in the fall at specific time periods. So she's specifically looking for the week of the October 10th. But how would someone find what's happening the week they're going to be up there?
Oh, you're going to get tired of me saying this again, but I'm saying it again. TraverseCity.com is a great place. And if you go into the upper right-hand corner of TraverseCity.com and you see the magnifying glass, just type in events. And you will literally find hundreds of events that are listed by their dates. If it's a recurring event, it'll be on there too. You tell you when it's taking place. A terrific resource, TraverseCity.com, and do a search for events. It'll take you right there. And whatever you're interested in, I don't care if it's an art fair. They've got men's night for around Christmas time and women's night around Christmas time. All the events are listed there. So any time that you are coming up here, just put in the dates that you're coming, and you can see what's going on at that time.
Excellent. So Juliana, back to the September. I wanted to say July. I'm just wishing it was still summer. So back to the September 22nd through 25th with the discount. So we are asking out there, we've posted in the comment section, if you would like to learn more or like to register to get the link for the upcoming in-person sales. You can go to Michigan, aarpmi.org/gems9-9. So Now, I wanted to ask Mike or Nick. I'm sorry, I keep getting you guys saying one name. I just can't get past the one name. Nick, how late in the season do people bike the trails and go to the wineries? I mean, I know the wineries are the wineries open all year long? I think they are.
The wineries are open year round. People bike the trail into November. The weather can be. We've had some amazing days in November. We've also had some cold, rainy days too. And we have a very flexible weather cancellation policy. You know you're coming up in November. You love to do the trail. Book the tour. If for some reason the weather is not good, full refund. You're not committed to it. So I just want to throw that out there too. And we do tour in the wintertime. We snowshoe from one winery to the next. We have a snowshoe tour. So the wineries are open year round, and there's fun ways to get out and see them. We also offer a cross-country ski tour as well. We ski from Shady Lane to Farm Club. So check our website. We have fun ways to explore the wineries year round.
Okay.
Nick, do you also have fat tire biking?
We have fat tire biking. So what's great about the trail, and you mentioned this, Mike, that some of them are groomed for cross-country skiing and whatnot. The Leelanau Trail is fantastic. The Tart Trails and their volunteers that groom it really put a lot of time into it. So the trail is groomed for cross-country skiing, and they have a fat tire bike lane and a separate single track fat tire bike trail that winds through the woods just off the trail. So they've really added several different ways to enjoy it and have fun and soak in nature. And so we have a igloo tour on fat bikes. So you can ride fat bikes and then come back and warm up at Hot Pot in one of their igloos, have a beer, dinner, or a snack, whatever you want. So we're all about combining fun places in the area and fun ways to explore them.
Well, so all the things we've talked about today with the three of you have been pretty much for active folks, I would say, right? So on the if you're on the ship, you have to have they do have it is accessible for folks who are in wheelchairs, which I was surprised to find. But
yeah, you can participate in the raising as much or as little as you're able, but we can accommodate people in wheelchairs and folks who just need to walk on and sit and enjoy the sail. Any abilities welcome on board.
Excellent.
And Karen, if I can add to that, this is something that really isn't all that well known. We've talked a little bit about Sleeping Bear Dunes. The National Park Service actually has wheelchairs that are on tracks, so that and they are rented out at no charge by the National Park Service. Just check in with their visitor center, the Philip A. Hart Visitor Center, and they can set you up. So there's no reason why somebody who has accessibility limitations shouldn't be able to take full advantage of the National Park Service and Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. It's a wonderful service to be made available. And so many, the thing we haven't talked about is very much is fall colors. If people do have accessibility and they just want to go on a long car ride, take M22 along Leelanau County, take the Center Road up the Old Mission Peninsula, take the Sleeping Bear Dunes Pier Stocking Drive, and you see the colors and the winding roads. It's an experience you won't soon forget.
Yeah, colors are breathtaking sometimes up there.
We're starting to get questions, and it's always a dangerous question to answer because it changes so much. When can you expect the fall colors? And it's so dependent upon the heat, the amount of rain. We're starting to see, and I know Nick and Juliana, you're seeing the same thing when you go to work. You're starting to see the tinges of colors on some of the trees right now. But we're probably what would you guys say, 2-3 weeks away before we start seeing the serious colors popping, and probably the beginning. I think it's probably going to show up a little earlier than usual, but probably the beginning of October is when we'll start seeing the really vibrant colors. And if you're thinking of a trip up here, trying to time it with the colors is a perfect time to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like figuring out when the cherries are going to come in, right?
Exactly. or the cherry blossoms. Yes.
So Paula asked a question. I know that there's a lot of light pollution when you're near a city. Is there a dark sky park to view stars so you can really see the stars well? And I'm guessing on the ship, Juliana, that you probably have pretty good viewing with that.
Yeah, if we have a clear sky, you can see the stars really nicely from Sutton's Bay. We don't have a designated dark sky park in the Grand Traverse region, but I'd say the Leelanau State Park at the tip of Leelanau County or the Old Mission Lighthouse Park at the tip of Old Mission are really great places to stargaze. And you don't get a lot of light pollution because you're looking out over Lake Michigan.
Yeah, I think the closest dark sky park is up in the Petoskey area, but Juliana, you're absolutely right. You get out to really anywhere along Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, or go up to the tip of Leelanau or the tip of Old Mission Peninsula, and you're out overlooking Lake Michigan, and it's going to be dark, and it's going to be fantastic viewing for the night sky.
So let's cover a couple more of the upcoming events that are in the area. There's we didn't talk about the Frankfurt Film Festival.
No, that's coming up in October 20th through 23rd. They've got this theater, the Garden Theater, which has been relatively recently renovated, and the community takes great pride in it. And the difference between this film festival and other film festivals is they take winners of other film festivals around the country, and those are the films that they show. So it's at one theater, the Garden Theater. They have a limited number of films, but my goodness, it is small town Americana, watching films at their best, because it's one screen, big screen at the Garden Theater, recently renovated theater, tremendous sound system and viewing system. So that's part of the advantage of that film festival. A couple other things that are coming up too that are big hits is the Traverse City, the Zombie Run is on October 29th. So keeping in line with the Halloween spirit, you see people, dogs, cats getting all decked out as zombies or other Halloween characters, and going for a run. It's a fundraiser, and every year it gets bigger and bigger, and a lot of fun for those who get involved. Looking further ahead to like November 5th, and I'll bet Nick knows a lot about this, the Iceman Cometh Challenge that goes between Traverse City and Kalkaska. You ever done it, Nick?
I've done it about 15 to 20 times. I've done it almost every year.
Well, what's it like? I've never done it. I've been out there, but I've never done it.
It's usually we still have some fall colors left. And there's two versions of the event. There's the Nice Man, and then there's the Iceman. We often get blessed with really nice days in November. And there's 4,000 to 5,000 people that ride, and it's very well organized. So it's like a party in the woods. Everyone's has a goal of trying to ride as fast as they can, but it has a really welcoming environment and of good for all abilities. So it's a point-to-point race from Kalkaska to Traverse City, and it showcases like a lot of rolling hills and some challenging terrain. So it's a good test of people's athletic ability, but it brings all cyclists together from all over the area. I think it's the largest single-day bike event, possibly in the country or very close to it. It's
thousands of people, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's 5,000 or 4,000, one of those two numbers. It's quite a few.
And they cap it off, if I recall correctly, to a certain number, and it always builds up. So that's coming up. Iceman Cometh bike race November 5th. Then let's just quickly tap off a couple other things. Traverse City Beer Week, which is always very popular, and you were talking about a brewery. The creativity in the breweries of this area is remarkable. I think one of my favorite is the brewer that puts whole cherry pies in their brew, and that's the Right Brain Brewery. And they're not afraid, because they're small breweries. They're not afraid to try something, and if it doesn't work, they don't try it again. So Traverse City Beer Week is November 11th through 18th. And then the other thing on that November 11th, it's also a free admission to Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. So always a good opportunity to get into the most beautiful place in America and just check it out.
Excellent. Wow. Well, you guys have all shared a lot of information. Anybody have any last, Juliana, Nick, you have any last thoughts to share with the audience?
My only other piece is that if people are visiting in our non-sailing season, is we have an education exhibit that's open year-round. And so we have exhibits about the Great Lakes that are indoors and hands-on for families and people to come and visit at any time.
Yes, there were some things I saw in there that were quite unusual. What do they call it? A sea mosquito or a lake mosquito or something? It was like this big. I went, nope, not gonna be in the lake with that.
Yeah, our spiny water flea. Fortunately, in
go.
real life, they're about this big.
Oh.
That was an enlarged version, but we've got some cool exhibits.
All right.
You know, if I could say something to reinforce what Juliana is talking about and what she and her organization does to this region. I was at a National Writer Series event about a week ago, and one of the writers of a book was talking about how do you preserve our environment? How do you preserve our Great Lakes? And I loved his response. His response was, go to the beach tomorrow. Go to the beach, bring your kids to the beach. You preserve and you protect things that you value. When you get out on the Inland Seas Education Association ship and you find out everything that ship does, and those kids learn about the value of the Great Lakes because it's unique. It's what, Juliana, 20% of the fresh water bodies of land or bodies of water in the world?
Yes.
It's in our backyard. If we don't preserve it, if we don't protect it, it's a tragedy. So to get kids out on that ship and truly appreciate it, the work that they do is remarkable, and not just for this generation, for the next generation.
And not just kids. I think it's valuable information for people of any age.
That's when we start appreciating it, when we go out there and we see, how is it endangered? How do we make sure that we protect it, whether it's invasive species or what? In order for us to appreciate it and love it, we got to get out into it. And by going on that ship, that's exactly what happens.
Excellent.
For sure. Thanks, Mike.
Nick, any last words? We're about to run out of time here.
We hope that everyone can come join us this fall. The weather it's turned out to be a fantastic fall. And we'd love to have people come join us on tour. And we'd love to show our backyard off, Traverse City area, and make sure everyone has a good time.
Very good. Very good. All right. So I'm going to ask each of you, remind us of your website. Nick, what's your website?
Website is grandtraversbiketours.com.
All right. Because if you want to set up a wine tour, a bike wine tour, or just a bike tour, or rent a bike to take on your own, I think, on your own tour, grandtraversbiketours.com.
That's right.
All right. Juliana, you want to remind us of your website?
Sure. It's schoolship.org.
Okay. And Mike, we know, traversity.com.
I got the easiest one, right?
That's right. And all of those links are posted in the comments out there on Facebook. So thank you. A lot of people who have said thank you much for the information. And again, if anybody's interested in learning more or registering for a sail with Inland Seas from September 22nd to September 25th, arpmi.org/gems9-9. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to all of you, Mike, Juliana, and Nick, for sharing all the information with us. And have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for having us, Karen.
Yeah, thanks for showcasing us. Have a great weekend.